hope that you had an amazing day. So before we start today with our class, everybody should log into a+students.ca. All right, so once we've logged into a+students.ca, we'll log in with your username as well as your password. All right, so once you've logged in with your username as well as your password, you're going to select the subject, which is language arts. And then we go to grade 6. All right, so once we have selected grade 6, under language arts, then we are going to scroll down up until we get to possessive pronouns. So the chapter that we are focusing on today is possessive pronouns. So we'll click in possessive pronouns. All right, so we are in the chapter of possessive pronouns. Then we are going to the lesson of use possessive pronouns. And before we are able to use possessive pronouns, we need to know what a pronoun is. All right, so some possessive pronouns, it comes before a noun, right? So some possessive pronouns are my, your, his, her, its, our, and their, right? So those are but a few possessive pronouns. And we see that possessive pronouns, it comes before a noun. They are my, yours, his, hers, its, our, their, right? Those are possessive pronouns. All right, so if we look at the example, right, there's an example. The first example says, that is Tasha's car, right? So we are making mention of the person, right, which is Tasha. So that is Tasha's car. So instead of then making mention of the person's name, we can then say that is her car, right? And her tells us about Tasha. So instead of saying Tasha, we can say her, right? So that is Tasha's car. And remember that a pronoun is in place of the noun, right? So instead of Tasha's, we can then say that is her car. So we're not going to say it's Tasha's car, we're going to say it's her car. Then we have some possessive pronouns appear without a noun, right? They are mine, yours, his, hers, its, ours, and theirs, right? And these possessive pronouns, it appears without a noun, right? So some possessive pronouns appear without a noun, and they are mine, yours, his, hers, its, our, ours, and theirs, right? Ours. We can say that is, we can then just say it is hers, right? Not her car, hers. All right. So once again, right, we have some possessive pronouns that appear without the noun, and then we have a few possessive pronouns that appear with a noun, right? And the possessive pronouns that appear with it usually comes before a noun, and they are my, your, his, her, its, our, their. And the pronouns that appear without the noun are they, are mine, yours, his, hers, its, ours, and theirs. Right? All right, so now we're going to look at our example sentence. Let's go a bit up. All right. Yeah, it says that rabbit belongs to Mr. Yamada. So that rabbit belongs to Mr. Yamada. We need to complete the sentence with the correct possessive pronoun. So it is what? Whose rabbit, right? So the rabbit belongs to Mr. Yamada. And remember, we said that some possessive pronouns, it comes before a noun, and some possessive pronouns appear without a noun, right? So that rabbit belongs to Mr. Yamada. Then we can say it is. We can say it is his rabbit, right? So instead of again making mention of Mr. Yamada, we can then say it is his rabbit and not make mention of the name again, right? All right, next one. It says complete the sentence with the correct possessive pronoun. Those flowers belong to them. They are. They are whose flowers, right? So those flowers belong to them. They are whose flowers? Is it my flowers? Your flowers? His flowers? Hers? It's our flowers or their flowers. If something belongs to them, right, we need to choose the correct pronoun, possessive pronoun. Over here they're saying they are mine flowers, which is incorrect, right? So this is incorrect. So you don't say those are or this are mine flowers, right? Because if those flowers belong to them, then they are their flowers. Something that belongs to them, it's theirs, right? So they are their flowers, right? And remember, there's a difference between their and their. So this there, it's like referring to something in a form of direction, wherever it is, and there refers to either a group of people or, yeah. The next one, Okay, those maps belong to us. So those maps belong to us, right? So if maps belong to us, right, we need to choose the correct possessive pronoun. So if those maps, then they are whose maps? Is it my maps, yours, his, hers, it's, our, or their, right? Here it says that they are your maps. If something belongs to us, is it yours, right? So which means that if you, for example, take ownership of something, so those maps belong to us, right? Then we can say they are ours. Anything that belongs to us is ours. And that shows possessiveness. All right, let's test ourselves on the use of pronouns. All right, you need to complete the sentence with the correct possessive pronoun. That book belongs to you. Is it your book or my book? So if a book belongs, is it your book or is it my book? We need to choose the correct possessive pronoun, right? That book, you, right? It is your book if it belongs to you, or is it my book if it belongs to you? All right, we're going to choose your. So if you chose your, then that is correct. That candy belongs to her. So if the candy belongs to her candy, or is it his candy? So well done. So that candy belongs to her. It is her candy, or it is his. Well, that's the one that says her. So it is her candy. Those kites belong to all of us. So if those kites belong to all of us, then they are, is it our kites if it belongs to us? Or they are your kites belongs to us. If something belongs to us, is it ours or yours? So we need to choose one of the options that consists of pronouns to complete the sentence. Well done. So it is our kites. Those flowers belong to them. So those flowers belong to them. They are. If flowers belong to them, then they are my flowers or their flowers. So if the flowers belongs to them, who does it belong to? Does it belong to mine based on the option that's there, or is it their flowers? Well done. So if you chose their, then that is correct because it is their flowers. Those footballs belong to the 11th graders. They are mine footballs or their footballs. So those footballs belong to the 11th graders. So does the footballs belong to, is it mine or their? Mine or their? All right, so there is correct, right? So there is correct. However, I'm going to choose mine quickly, right? So I just chose mine just as an example to show that if ever you get anything incorrect, right, then what it does, it takes you back to the tutorial page, right? So once it takes you back to the tutorial page, it will tell you the incorrect answer that you chose, as well as what the correct answer is. So the ones that chose there, well done. So you get an answer that is incorrect, it will then take you back to the tutorial page and it will basically show you how you need to do it, right? They'll give you a description or an explanation of the whole lesson as well as what the correct answer is. Because here it's correct possessive pronoun is there, and it shows that the footballs belong to the 11th graders, right? So well done to the one that said it is there. All right. To complete the sentence with the correct possessive pronoun, those maps belong to us. So those belongs to us, right? So they are our maps or your maps. If those maps belong to us, is it ours or yours? All right, well done. We will choose our maps, right? Those mirrors belong to Nick and us, right? So if those mirrors belong to Nick and us, then what is the possessive pronoun? Is it they are ours or your mirror? So our mirror or your mirror. So those mirrors belong to Nick and us. They are our mirror, your mirrors. Well done. Those flutes belong to Ellie and her family. So those flutes belong to Ellie and her family. They are their flutes or our flutes. All right, so we will choose there, and there is correct, right? All right, so that is the lesson on, or let's say the test lesson on the use of possessive pronouns, right? All right, we're going to then go on to the A plus classes. So you're going to go on your browser to aplusclasses.ca. Once you've opened aplusclasses.ca, you're going to learning materials. Going to grade, scroll down to grade 6. Once you've clicked on grade 6, go to language arts, and then scroll down up until you get to these 4 workbooks under the heading language arts. All right, we are going to then choose or click on the second workbook, which is practice grammar in this language arts book. All right, and then we're going to scroll down up until we get to page 16, 17, and 18. All right, so let's go to page 18, right? And page 18 is possessive pronouns. And possessive pronouns under language art, it links with the lesson that we were busy with today. And it says a possessive pronoun, it names a person or a thing that has something, right? A possessive pronoun doesn't contain an apostrophe. Some possessive pronouns appear before a noun and replace the name, right? It replace the name of a person, or it replaces the name of a thing that has something. Remember, it replaces the name of a person or thing that has. For example, Julian's group is finished, right? His group is finished, which means that we replace Julian's name, right, to his group is. So instead of saying Julian's group, we can then say his group is finished. Then we also have other possessive pronouns that stand alone, right? Within a sentence, possessive pronouns alone within. Like for example, mine is the red one, right? And the one on the table is yours. So mine is the red one. It is not replacing a person's name, right? But it's basically just standing alone within a sentence. The other one on the table is yours, right? And remember, do not confuse the possessive pronoun its with the contraction of it is, right? Which is also its, but it apostrophe is, right? That basically stands for it is. So you should not confuse the possessive pronoun its, which is its, with the contraction its, right? Which is it is. So its, which is its without the apostrophe, right? It is a possessive pronoun, right? However, it's with the apostrophe is a contraction. So it's beginning to fade is like saying it is beginning to fade, right? But its color had faded, right? You are then basically just being direct. It is possessive pronoun. All right. So now we are going to do the activity A to identify possessive pronouns. And it says you need to underline the possessive pronoun in the sentence below and write it in the space provided. So Michael dropped his ice cream on the ground. We need to underline the possessive pronoun. So Michael dropped his ice cream on the ground. All right. So then the possessive pronoun within the sentence, right, that basically places the name Michael, we can then say it's his, right? So Michael dropped his on the ground. Several people claim the prize was theirs, and the possessive pronoun within the sentence. Theirs, right? So several people claim the prize was theirs, and we identify theirs as being the possessive pronoun. Susan and Hussein closed their eyes when Kelly brought out the cakes. So Susan and Hussein closed their eyes when Kelly the cakes. So Susan and Hussein, right? We can say they closed their eyes, right? It shows possessiveness or position. Instead of saying Susan and Hussein closed Susan and Hussein's eyes, we can say they closed their eyes. We couldn't decide which of the cars was ours. So we couldn't decide which of the cars was ours, right? And the possessive pronoun within the sentence is ours. Our took first place. And remember, this is a possessive pronoun that's standing on its own. So we can say are. It's not replacing someone's name, it's just standing on its own. Do you have my tapes? Do you have my tapes? We need to choose the possessive pronoun within that sentence. And then we will choose my as the possessive pronoun. She was looking for her books. She is looking for her books. All right, and then we choose her, which is correct. Does Kelly's watch show the same time as ours, as yours? So does Kelly's watch the same time as yours? And yours is correct. I got mine before you. This is a possessive pronoun that's standing on its own. I got mine before you did. Or basically, I got mine. So we'll choose mine, right? The dog lost its collar. Lost its color. The dog lost its color. We need to choose the correct pronoun or possessive pronoun. And it is correct, right? Without the contraction. Direct, right? Instead of saying the dog lost his collar, we say its collar, right? Because it's referring to an animal. All right, so that is basically the pronouns that we had to underline within the sentence, right? And within our previous lesson, not even in our previous lesson, within the lesson, we had to as well as use possessive pronouns within a sentence. And now we identified possessive pronouns within a sentence. And once again, it names a person or it names a thing that has something, right? And a possessive pronoun does not contain an apostrophe. So some possessive pronouns appear before a noun and replace the name of a person or thing that has something, right? So those are but a few possessive, or let's say the meaning of what a possessive pronoun is. All right, let's go to the next activity, activity B, which is using possessive pronouns correctly, right? And remember we said that a possessive pronoun, it does not contain an apostrophe, right? So we are now going to, within the activity, use possessive pronouns correctly, right? And it says, write the correct form of parentheses each sentence, right? So we basically need to choose the correct pronoun within the sentence by choosing the correct one within the bracket. So you'll find two words within the bracket. We need to choose the correct possessive pronoun to make the sentence. Please see if is it you, your, with apostrophe re, or your painting is dry. Your with the apostrophe or just your. All right, so we're going to underline the correct one, which is your. Right? Remember this one with the apostrophe, it basically stands for you are. So that is not the correct one. So just your, not the one with the apostrophe. It's, the apostrophe S, or it's too early to go. We need the correct pronoun. So it's with the apostrophe S, or it's too early to go to the show. All right, so we use the first one, right? That shows that it is basically too early to go to the shop, to the show. There, or their latest read is selling well. First one, the apostrophe, or their latest record is selling well. All right, so their, referring to maybe the group, right? Their latest record is selling well. Number 4, I wonder if your or your will go with me. First one basically means your, which is you are, and the second option is your, direct. We will go with the second option. Your brother will go with me. And did the dog lose? Is it its collar or it? Apostrophe S for it is, not the apostrophe S. Yes, and we're choosing option 2. It's without the apostrophe S. So those are how we can use possessive pronouns, right? And we said that a possessive pronoun, it does not have an apostrophe, right? All right, let's quickly go back to the tutorial lesson, right? So we just possessive pronouns, right? And we say the pronouns, some possessive pronouns, it comes before a noun. They are mine, your, his, her, its, our, and their, right? That is possessive pronouns. And then some possessive pronouns appear without a noun, and they are mine, yours, his, hers, its, ours, and theirs. And they basically stand alone within a sentence. All right. Now let's do this one. To complete the sentence with the correct possessive pronoun. That glove belongs to her, right? If the glove belongs to her, then it is whose glove. So if the glove belongs to her, then whose glove? All right, then we can say it is her glove, right? So if the glove belongs to her, then we can say it is her glove, right? That's the possessive pronoun. So her shows that the gloves belong to her. That letter belongs to him, right? So if the letter belongs to him, then is it her letter or it is his letter? All right, so if the letter belongs to him, it is his letter, right? All right, and then the last one. Those wagons belong to Omar, Lexi, and Danelle. So those wagons to Omar, Lexi, and Danelle, which means that they are whose wagons? If the wagons belong to Omar, Lexi, and Danelle, then they are, you can say, they are their wagons, right? Because it belongs to them, right? So it's their wagons. Because then it shows that the wagon belongs to Omar, Lexi, and Danal, right? All right. So if you got at least two or more of the correct, then well done, because now it means that you know how to use possessive pronouns within a sentence. Right? All right. And remember, we said that some possessive pronouns, it comes before a noun, right? And remember, whenever we try to identify a possessive pronoun, remember you said no apostrophes, right? No apostrophes. It shows possession. Either belongs to me, it's mine, to yours, it's theirs, it's ours, right? It's his, hers, right? My, your, his, our, and their. So those are all possessive pronouns. All right. So that is basically possessive pronouns, right? And we already did the test as well as a grammar practice on possessive pronouns. So grade 6, that is basically the end of our lesson on possessive, right? In our next lesson, we will do possessive nouns. We just did possessive pronouns now. And in our next lesson, we'll definitely do possessive nouns. Now we just mentioned possessive pronouns. So I really hope that you understood and it was clear as to what possessive pronouns is. Thank you very much for interacting in the lesson within the class today. And we will definitely see each other next time. Have an amazing. Goodbye.